It is now my pleasure to introduce our panelist, Coach Chris Apple. Apple has been the head coach at the University of Rochester for the past 20 seasons. Rochester men's soccer has become a national powerhouse under his leadership with a winning percentage of .726 and consistently ranked in the top 20 for the past 2 decades. His teams have made the NCAA Division III championships a remarkable 13 times, including 5 Sweet 16 appearances and 3 runs to the Elite Eight. UVR has the most UAA titles of any member school at 10, with 5 of those coming during Apple's tenure. His 2018 team made the program's first ever Final Four, along with tying a school record for wins in a season and finishing ranked number 4th nationally. He has coached 11 All-Americans, the 2018 National Midfield of the Year, and 39 first-team All-UAA selections. His teams have also achieved great success in the classroom, with every Rochester team earning the coveted NSCAA Team Academic Award for a team GPA of 3.0 or greater. He's coached 11 academic All-Americans, 2 academic All-Americans of the Year, and one of his players was honored with the NCAA Elite 90 Award for the top GPA at the 2018 Final Four. Apple and his coaching staff have been named the United Soccer Coaches Association each Regional Coach of the Year 4 times, and the UAA Coaching Staff of the Year 6 times. He is a 1992 graduate of the University of Rochester with a dual degree in German and history. He is married to Melissa Sturge Apple, also 92 U of R grad. They have 2 sons, Kellen, 17, and Braden, who's 15. Coach will give his remarks and then open up to Q&A. Thank you again for joining us. We really hope you enjoyed the presentation. Coach?
All right. Thanks, Terry. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see you all. We have alumni here. I was looking through the Zoom list, and we have alumni here from the 1950s through to today, which is amazing. In a normal fall, we would have been telling you about the program at the Elmwood over a beer. And I'm looking forward to the day when we can do that again. For now, though, Zoom is going to have to do. I want to thank Ashley and Terry for setting this up. We're going to begin with a presentation, and then at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A. So please save the heckling till then. Jay Rich, I'm looking at you. So the plan today is to give you an overview of the program, and that starts with our values. We believe in chasing excellence in everything we do. We believe in striking a healthy balance between school, soccer, and personal life, and we think there's time in the day to excel in all 3. And we believe that the lessons and life skills that we can learn and the bonds and the friendships that we build as members of the team can bring true and lasting meaning to our lives. And this is why we do what we do. So we're going to take you on a journey today from recruit to student athlete to alumnus. You can see Charlie Shanks last year when he was a senior in high school here, and Will Isold, one of our current leaders on the team. You'll get to hear from him later. And then that's Brandon Campbell in front of his all of his tech as he's writing the score for Game of Thrones or some other cool movie or series. So along this journey, you're going to hear from assistant coaches Mike Tringali and Brady Larkin. I want to highlight what amazing professionals these 2 gentlemen are and how important they are to our program's success. They're tireless recruiters, they're amazing role models and mentors for our guys, and they're proud ambassadors for our university. Mike is going to take you through our recruiting process and how we had to adapt on the fly when the pandemic hit back in the spring. Then Brady's going to walk you through how we work with our players during their 4-year career and the different ways we support their growth. Then we have a special treat in store for you. You'll get to hear from 4 of our students, and they'll discuss a few initiatives they're heading up right now. We think our students are the best advertisements for our program, and we're really proud to show them off today. We'll wrap up by talking about the scores of Rochester alumni just like you, who support us in so many ways and continue to do us proud. So at this point, I'm going to kick it over to Coach Tringali to discuss recruiting. Here you go, Coach, all yours.
Thanks, Coach. Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Tringali, and like Coach Apple said, it's so great to have you here with us today, and I'm really excited to share with you how we've adapted and continued our recruiting efforts to ensure we're bringing the right students, the right soccer players, and the right people into our organization, not just for the present, but also the future. So I'd like to take you here to kind of explain to you the three elements we look to identify in the recruiting process. The first is the character of the individual. So is this a person who is goal-oriented? Are they self-motivated and driven to succeed? Are they someone who looks to foster both positive and meaningful relationships with their coaches and their peers? And when things get tough, do they push through adversity and try to meet the challenge? The next piece is the academic focus and preparedness of the student. So is this someone who values education and takes their academics seriously? This is a person who has not only excelled in the classroom, but also challenges themselves with a rigorous course load. And then the last piece is the athletic ability of the player. So do they make good decisions? Do they have a significant strength or weapon? And do they consistently execute the right actions at the relevant moments? And it also is this a person who we feel will positively impact the program throughout their time at U of R with their play? So this is a thorough process, and it requires extensive evaluation. So when we pivot to a virtual recruiting world, we asked ourselves two really important questions as a staff. The first was, how do we apply this formula to ensure we're bringing quality individuals into our organization? And then the second question being, how do we give prospective student athletes the necessary information about our institution and our program for them to identify that the university is the right fit for them? So what we did was we put together a model that provides both our staff and prospective students with the information needed to make informed decisions. First, we assessed match film online when coming to identifying the right playing profile. We would reach out to player references and coaches, and we would confirm an excellent academic profile through receiving unofficial transcripts and test scores. Throughout these three elements, we would then move on to a virtual visit, and the virtual visit served as a great opportunity for recruits and their families to ask the staff questions, but also while giving them a chance to speak candidly with some of our players and get their insight as well. The coaching staff would also take recruits around campus via FaceTime. So that gave them an in-depth look as well at our campus and our facilities, while showing them how other residential students were still having a great experience on campus despite the challenges of COVID. So through this process, we're really excited that we have 5 early decision commitments for our class of 2021. We cannot announce them yet until they deposit, but we're excited to share them with you and to welcome them into our family. They each bring talent, drive, and character to our program, and we're so excited to watch them grow and develop at their time on the River campus. So on that note, I would like to kick it over to Coach Larkin, who's going to speak more about how we approach team and player development.
Thanks. Well, this has definitely been a season like no other. The coaching staff made it a priority to continue to focus on a few key areas that make this program great. Overall, this program is all about growth, and we work to provide our players with opportunities to lead as soccer players, students, and people. The main focal points of our student athlete development can be seen here. We plan training sessions to develop as a group and provide time to work with each individual to refine their position-specific roles. We get to know each player, help them identify their goals, and provide the structure they need to pursue excellence on the field and in the classroom. In lieu of a typical fall season where We play regional and UAA competition. We scheduled intra-squad scrimmages once a week. And overall, our players' health and wellness is paramount to us. And this year, more than ever, we never wanted to forget that sport should be fun. So first, our team training. We began back in August, training in 3 small pods in a physically distanced manner, seen here. And we progressed into a larger team environment when the regulations permitted us to do so. We used this fall as an opportunity to grow as much as we could. So hopefully when we can finally play games again, we're as strong as we can be. This fall, we had 3 primary areas of focus. The first, our technical focus was on creating and scoring goals. Our tactical focus was on fast transitions, and our cultural goal was to improve our resiliency and build courage. We work to provide a professional training environment for our players, and as you can see here, we plan each and every session down to the smallest detail. We also continued to focus on individual improvement. So one of the most critical components to individual growth is the individual development plan, seen here. With this, the players set personal goals and create a specific action plan to accomplish them. These can range from improving speed of play to trying to move on from mistakes quicker to developing better time management skills or study habits. To support their growth on the field, the coaching staff provided individual positional training 1 day per week. This is when the coaching staff designed training exercises for each individual to improve their specific role. For example, 1v1 play for wingers, finishing for strikers, defensive box play for defenders, and switching play for midfielders. So next, easily one of the biggest highlights from this fall were blue versus gold matches. Every single player said this was their favorite part of the season, when they could play competitive matches and test themselves against each other. And here's a great goal from Caden Dowd for the blue team. Nice, Caden. We also incorporated health and wellness activities into our training program 3 times a week. So we continued to partner with UR Medicine Fitness Science to provide on-field strength for the team. Here we focused on getting stronger, more explosive, and becoming all-around better athletes. New this year, we added 1 day of yoga with an instructor from our U of R Mindful University project. Together, these 2 components help the team improve their athleticism, flexibility, mindfulness, with the added benefit of preventing injuries. Another overarching theme this fall was enjoyment. So we quickly found that this fall was the best part of our day during a pandemic, or at least the soccer part of the day. And it served as a period of time when the team could let their masks down. So we had weekly soccer tennis tournaments, AKA the Harry Campbell Cup, named after our beloved athletic trainer. And this was the perfect way to enjoy our time together on a Friday afternoon and relieve the stress of the week. So here you can see the game, set, and cup winning bicycle kick from Ryan Kikase. Awesome. So we also want to take a moment to say just how proud we are of this group of student athletes to continue to balance their soccer and their pursuit of academic excellence. This fall, as Terry said, we received the United Soccer Coaches Team Academic Award. This makes us one of 3 programs across all NCAA divisions to receive the award for 19 or more consecutive years. And to highlight a couple recent moments in a long lineage of scholar athletes, Pictured here, we have Nick Angel on the upper left, who received the Elite 90 award for having the highest cumulative GPA of all teams represented at the Final Four in 2018. This was a first in U of R history in any sport. In 2019, Zach Lawler on the right was honored as an academic All-American, and he was the 11th in the program's history. And most recently, this fall, Hugh Curran was named a Garnish Scholar athlete for his exemplary performance on the field and in the classroom. He was one of 10 senior athletes to be named a Garnish Scholar. And finally, we want to highlight the area for personal growth. As coaches, we look to provide the players with opportunities to lead and make an impact beyond soccer, and to help them prepare for a life of leadership after they graduate. So to quickly introduce you to a few members of our team, these are the guys who are doing some important work in leading committees to address diversity and inclusion, service, and leadership. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Kaden and Tijan to talk about the work they're currently doing with their committee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caden Dowd. I'm a center mid and also the co-chair of the Diversion and Inclusion Committee with TJ. Our goal was to create a committee that was able to help the team learn, grow, and positively impact the Rochester community as well. Furthermore, we wanted to create a safe environment within our team where we can address issues in today's society. To achieve this, we created a mission statement, some principles, and a set of goals that we wish to accomplish within the next 2 years. So I'm going to send our mission statement just so you guys can see what we're all about in the chat. So yeah, talking about what we can do for the community is good in theory, but now I'm going to pass it on to my fellow co-chair, TJ, to explain how we took action this semester.
Thanks, Caden. As you said, my name is TJ Borchers. I'm a sophomore here at the U of R, and I play center back. So obviously, we wanted to take some action in the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. The main actions that we took this fall and this semester was we had different discussions and activities that the team could do that we led. So 3 highlights that we had this semester. The first one was involved with just the committee and the coaching staff, where we discussed a TED Talk by Daryl Davis in his TED Talk called "Why I, as a Black Man, Attend KKK Rallies." So we had a discussion about that. And then for the team, we had a 21-day race and equity challenge. Here, players would receive an email each day that they could get an article or video about a certain topic, and they could learn something new about race and equity. And towards the end of that challenge, we had a discussion about a TED Talk done by Chimamanda Ngozi in her video titled "The Danger of a Single Story." And there we were able to discuss the idea of stereotypes, how they're created, what we can do individually to prevent them, who's affected, and how they're affected. And that was done via a Zoom call, as we had meetings almost every week, where we were split into small breakout rooms where we could discuss the topics in smaller groups. And then towards the end, we were brought into the main room and discussed the ideas that were in each individual room. So now I'm going to pass it on to Jason, who's going to talk about our service committee.
Cool, thank you for that, TJ. Hi, my name is Jason Ho. I'm a junior at the University of Rochester, and I play as a right back for the team. I'm also the co-chair of the service committee. Our goal as a committee is to enhance our relationship with the Rochester area through service and by giving back to the community. This fall, we felt that it was important that we continue to serve others, especially during such an uncertain time and uncertain and difficult time for so many. In the past, we've worked with organizations such as FoodLink, Rochester International Academy, where we tutored local refugee students, and the Monroe County Correction Center, where we mentored inmates. It was difficult to coordinate these in-person service events during the pandemic, so we had to be creative this year and ultimately decided to support a local family in need. We worked with CP Rochester and adopted a family for the holidays. CP Rochester is an incredible organization that supports Rochester residents, including many children who have cerebral palsy. The family we adopted was a family of 3, all girls. We raised over $300 and purchased gifts for the kids and for the mom, and then wrapped them and delivered them to CP Rochester. It was a great way for our team to come together and positively impact a local family, and something we hope to continue in the future. Now I want to pass it over to Will to talk about the Courage and Leadership Committee.
Thanks, Jay. Hello, my name is Will Isold. I am a junior. I play as a center back on the team, and I'm also one of the leaders for the Courage and Leadership Committee. Our committee was created with the intention of developing leadership skills in each and every person on the team. We don't believe that like age or title makes somebody a leader. We believe that everybody can lead, and everybody has the ability and the responsibility to be a role model, to positively influence others, to speak up, and to hold others accountable. So as far as what my committee does is we find articles and videos that we believe speak on our ideals about the courage and leadership. And then once we do that, we share that with the team with a few thought-provoking questions, which then we'll have a Zoom meeting over. We'll go into the breakout rooms, and then we'll discuss it, and then we'll come back and discuss, and hopefully we can apply those concepts to our team in our real life. Another aspect of what the team does is we believe in peer-to-peer mentorship. And this could be anything from classes to interpersonal to like playing on the field with our soccer ability. And we found this to be extremely effective in developing leaders, but also creating camaraderie between every member on the team. So I'd like to highlight one example of this. And so Hugh, our goalkeeper last year, he underwent surgery, and he had a very long recovery. And by the time the preseason was around, his body wasn't ready to play yet. And so even though this was hard on him psychologically, he still showed up to every training session with a smile and helped out in whatever way he could. And on one particular day, we were working on building out, and one of our players, Ryan, he was having a little trouble with switching the ball, as the forward always seemed to cut it out or get a little touch on it, or mess up the pass or whatever. And so Hugh pulled him aside, and to this day, I don't know what Hugh said to him, but Ryan seemed much more confident afterwards, and he started hitting his passes, and the forward wasn't able to mess up the pass anymore. And so that kind of just stuck with me. And the more that I think about it, I think that just knowing that the teammate cares about you and your performance just strengthens the culture, as well as the type of teammate and the leader that we all want to be. And so now that's all for me. And at this time, I'd like to pass it over to Coach Apple, who will wrap things up by talking about our alumni.
Thanks, Will. Nice job, boys. Well done. As I mentioned earlier, we're extremely proud of our alums and all the great things that you all and all of our alums everywhere are doing in their personal and professional lives. There are far too many people to mention today, but I do want to highlight, it's so timely, I can't pass it up. I want to highlight Ben Cross, class of 2004. This past weekend, Ben's an assistant coach at the Columbus Crew, for those of you who don't know Ben. And this past weekend, the Crew won the MLS Cup, which is just an incredible accomplishment for Ben. And I expect at some point we're going to see Ben as a head coach of an MLS club. So I just want to do a kind of a virtual round of applause for Ben and the Crew. I saw him earlier on the call. I'm not sure if he's still here. But great stuff, Ben. We're really proud of you.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, he is there. I almost didn't recognize you with that mustache. So our alumni are not just successful, they're also supportive. And, they support us with their time. They meet with our recruits. They provide career and internship opportunities for our players. I saw Lasha and Jay Rich on the call. I think they're still here. Got emails from both of those guys recently offering some internship opportunities for our guys and for other student athletes in the department. So we're super proud of the way our alumni support us with their time and their energy. and they also support us financially. And that allows our program to do some things that most Division III soccer programs can't do. In fact, a lot of Division I soccer programs can't do the things that we do because of our alumni. So there's so many important components of our program that we have, and we have them because of our alums. Things like our team banquet, our senior gifts, our match analysis software, our GPS hardware, our ability to recruit nationwide. Former All-American goalkeeper Mike Peacock covers the goalie gloves every year for our goalkeepers. Tony Graham named our beautiful locker room, which you can see here. Rich Maybaum, he endowed our team trip to Europe, and you can see a picture of that trip here in the center of the page. And I'm sure Steve Bigger, Chris Boning, and Brian Prince enabled the university to provide our students with top-class facilities pictured here, where they can train, compete, and continue to pursue their goals. So we're proud of our alumni and all they do for us and all they're doing in the world. And the last thing I want to leave you with, and I want to highlight, and probably the most rewarding part of the job, is seeing how much our guys love each other, how the shared connection to this team and this university continues to bring generation after generation together. And we're just so incredibly proud of that. So thank you. And at this point, I think we're going to open up to the gallery view and do a little Q&A.
Thank you, Coach Apple, and everyone else. Amazing presentation. I just want to add again that we are taking live questions as well. So feel free to throw those in the chat, and you can direct them to everyone, or if you'd like, you can just send them directly to myself too, Ashley Doherty. We did receive quite a few as well in advance. So we have a few to start you off with, Coach. I'll try and start you off with an easy one.
Throw me a softball.
A softball, yeah. Wrong sport, but same scenario, right? Who is your mentor and or favorite coach, and why?
Wow. We don't have enough time for that conversation, but there's a lot of mentors I've had. Several in our department. Terry, if it wasn't for Terry, I wouldn't have the position I have, and I wouldn't have learned. Terry teaches you how to be a better person, honestly, and how to treat people. When I started out my career, it was all about the soccer, and I learned quickly from Terry that it's more about the people. Probably my greatest mentor in the game is Mike Berticelli. He was the head coach at Notre Dame, and I was his assistant for 5 years, and he ended up passing my last year. In that program, he passed away suddenly, which was, devastating for all of us, but he was an incredible mentor. I learned so much about the game, about leading a team, about helping players develop. So yeah, I would say, Coach Burt was definitely a big one.
Thank you for sharing. Now, yourself as a Rochester grad, can you tell us why you think being a Rochester grad has helped you in the recruiting and coaching process?
Sure, that's definitely a softball. As an alum, I believe in this place. I'm not faking it. I mean, I love this place. I bleed blue and yellow. My wife bleeds blue and yellow. So when we're talking about the university, it's with a true sense of pride, and it's so easy to talk to recruits and their families about how great Rochester is. And yeah, that's definitely an easy part, having gone to school here.
And I know from working with you on Reunion that both of you are very proud alumni. So glad to hear. Can you tell us about the plans for international travel for your team and what that may look like for the future?
Great question. As many of you probably know, last May, we were supposed to go to Germany and Holland with the team. We go overseas with the team every 3 years, and almost to a guy, they say it's the highlight of their 4-year career, the 10 days that we get to spend as a team traveling through Europe, playing other European teams, and just being together with your best friends on a road trip to Europe. It's pretty cool. So The trip got canceled last May, and we were hoping to go this May. It looks like the university is not going to allow international travel this summer. So we're thinking March of 2022 will allow our rising seniors to be on the trip, and we don't want to, they would lose out on a European trip if we scheduled it in May or June of 2022 because of graduation and jobs and careers and all that. So we're thinking March of 22 over spring break, and maybe go to one of the warmer climates in Europe, like in Italy or Spain, something like that. So that's the current goal. We'll see what happens with the pandemic and vaccines and everything, but that's our hope to go in March of 22. So the rising seniors can get to join us.
That's great. Thank you. We know that there's a lot of uncertainty about the future with the pandemic, but can you tell us anything about the spring season and what you think that may or may not look like with trainings and games?
Great question. Sure. So the university plan is to bring students back on February 1st, and our plan is to offer a training environment similar to the fall that we were able to provide the guys. And we're allowed, the NCAA loosened the restrictions on what we can do in the spring. It used to be, in a normal year, we'd get 16 training opportunities in the spring, and now we get 114 training opportunities for the entire year. So we have enough training opportunities in the spring where we can do February, March, April, train every week, 4 to 5 days all spring. And that's what we plan to do. We'll be training on the field. We'll be playing futsal. We will be in the weight room. So we want to offer the guys, that developmental opportunity. Also, like Coach Larkin mentioned, it's the best hour and a half of their day where they can be with each other. We can lower the masks, play soccer. So yeah, that's what we plan to do. And then we hope we'll be able to get a couple friendlies in with outside competition, probably local Rochester area competition. That'll depend on testing availability. If we can do, the rapid tests, and if our opponent can do the rapid tests, then we're hopeful that we can get some competition in as well.
Great. Can you speak to what you believe are the biggest differences between the U of R and other UAA programs?
Tough one. That's a tough one. I think our UAA, our fellow UAA schools, they do an incredible job academically. So does Rochester. The coaches at these UAA schools are they run quality programs. We try to run a quality program. They have great athletes. We have great athletes. I think there's probably more similarities than there are differences. I think, that last slide where I highlighted all the things we're able to do as a program that are more on a professional level or a Division I level, I think those things set us apart. I think the extra work we do with each individual student to support their personal growth, I think that sets us apart. So, I think there are some things that set us apart for sure. I think there's a lot of similarities too between these other great UAA schools.
Terry threw in the chat as well that one of the big differences he believes is the coaching staff. So
you're biased, Terry, but thank you.
We have a couple of questions that relate to recruitment, and I know that you touched upon that in your presentation. Can you speak to, though, what you believe the incoming 2021 recruiting class will look like?
Yeah, so Coach Tringali mentioned we have 5 early decision commitments. We're super excited about these 5 guys. We didn't need a big class. We only graduate 2 players in May. So small senior class graduating. We wanted to bring in a really high quality class, but a smaller class in terms of numbers. We hit some important positional needs. They're all great, like high character guys, like Coach Tringali mentioned. The athleticism seems to keep increasing every year on our team. The current first years, super athletic, super skillful. I think the upperclassmen on this Zoom could probably attest to the fact that the first years are, they're a pretty talented group. They're not on here right now, so I have no fear of letting their heads swell. But yeah, next year's class is similar. I mean, smaller in number, but lots of talent. We've got a goalkeeper in the class, a couple defenders, a really talented attacking player. We're pretty deep at midfield, so that was less of a need, but there's one guy in this class who can play both at the back and in midfield. So yeah, I mean, it's a good, the group looks good. We'll see. We don't really know. You never really know until August when you get them in front of you, but Coach Tringali and Coach Larkin did an awesome job with this class.
Great. Speaking of recruitment, can you talk about what your most successful areas geographically are for recruitment? And with kind of moving to a more virtual recruitment, have you been able to maybe expand your reach?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's interesting, as I think back to, when I first arrived at Rochester in the early 2000s, a lot of in-state, a lot of Northeast, a lot of Mid-Atlantic, and we still get, plenty of recruits from those states. But, you can see, Caden and Jay on this call, they're West Coast guys. TJ's from Atlanta, so we're going south, we're going west. We've got guys on our team from overseas now. So the world keeps shrinking. Rochester's reach keeps growing, and our reach as a program is now nationwide, worldwide. We've got 2 kids coming in from Bermuda in the incoming class. We had a guy on the team helped us get to the Final Four 2 years ago from Norway. Help me out, Coach Larkin. We've got Noe from the Dominican Republic. So yeah, we recruit worldwide now.
That's awesome. With your new recruits and current teams, what has kept the guys motivated given that they knew that they wouldn't have matches again for another year?
That's a really, it's an insightful question. It was hard. I'm going to pitch this over to any of our 4 students on the call though, because I think, hearing it straight from them, I mean, I know it was hard for them, but they lived it. So I'd rather, do one of you guys want to take this one?
Yeah, I can take it. Personally, I really like the blue gold games. There's like nothing better than just beating teammate at a game and just like shoving in their face afterwards. So that's pretty fun. But then like on just an everyday standpoint, like what Coach said already, like that was the one time we were allowed to like let our masks down and kind of just be with like 30 of my best friends, and that was probably the highlight of my day. So that was really awesome, just like getting to see everybody. But then like the coaching staff also really helped with like the soccer tennis tournament. I did not win, but it was still pretty fun being a spectator. But like other than that, like I would just say just seeing the guys and everything, and just playing the game that we love.
Jay, TJ, Caden, anything to add to that from your perspective? Maybe one more guy want to speak?
I would say it was just like Will said, it was just really nice to just be with everyone. And honestly, it was just the one time where it felt normal. And we're all super thankful to all the coaches and the trainers and the athletic department for ensuring that we were able to play safely in a safe manner. But it was just seeing everyone being with their teammates, just kicking the ball around. It just felt nice to have some sense of normalcy, especially during a time when everything's very unprecedented. So we're just all super thankful.
Yeah, I mean, for the alums on the call to understand, I mean, a lot of their classes were virtual. You know, they weren't allowed to invite, you know, 3, 4, or 5 people into their rooms to hang out at night. Anytime they would, you know, walk somewhere with a teammate or a friend on campus, they had to be masked. The only time they could unmask was in the dining hall when they were eating, or at practice with us. And that was the one time of their day where they could hang out with their buddies, play the game they love, and drop the mask for a little while. And so, yeah, it was a hard semester for the students, but they got through it, and they got to play some soccer with their friends, which was nice.
Thank you for all sharing. I know we talked about taking a lot of new precautions this year and everything that was instituted with new guidelines from the university. Can you speak to the number of COVID cases that may or may not have been reported on your own team?
Yeah, so I know the numbers for the entire athletic department. You know, for privacy reasons, we don't get like names or anything like that. So for the entire athletic department, 500 students, there were 11 cases this fall, and none of them were traced back to on-field activity or weight room activity or any team activity. So yeah, I mean, what we were able to do, the you know, Dr. Manchester and the University Health Services and our trainers, you know, they made us go really gradually, really conservatively, which was the right thing to do. And, you know, we tested and we were able to play safely, and no one got COVID, you know, because of any of our team activities.
That's great. We have another question in the chat as well. Understanding everything is fluid, but as we speak today, does it appear hopeful that we will return to a normal fall season with matches and spectators? Seems like some alumni are eager to get back to watching your games.
Yeah, our alumni are eager, our students are eager, our parents are eager, certainly the coaches were eager. So, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but what we're all seeing with the vaccines that are becoming available and the timelines that we're seeing for, you know, wider distribution of the vaccines to the general public, I'm really optimistic, hopeful by September, you know, the vaccine will be widely available and we will be able to play matches and have a normal, we'll still probably have some precautions we'll have to take, but a closer to normal season with matches, with team travel, with an NCAA tournament. I'm very hopeful for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Ben Cross was brought up earlier. Do you think that you can share a memory of Ben in his time on the River campus?
So Benny's on the call, so I'm gonna probably defer to him to maybe mention one of his favorite memories. And I can't divulge, you know, and maybe some of his teammates would want to divulge some memories, but my memory of Ben and why I'm not surprised at all how successful he's been as a coach is he was one of the fiercest competitors I have ever coached in my entire career. When he's, I mean, mild-mannered guy, sweet guy, great friend off the field, but when he stepped across the white line, he was ferocious. He wanted to win every time he stepped on that field, and he just competed like no one I've ever coached. So I'm not surprised how successful he's been as a coach. Benny, any memories you want to share? You still there?
Oh, he might have logged off.
Too bad, we might have gotten a juicy one.
Yeah. All right, as we're starting to wrap things up, I appreciate everyone's questions. If we didn't get to a question of yours, feel free to reach out to us and we can certainly address those offline. Coach Apple, I want to end with you telling us your favorite U of R memory.
Wow. Oh man, I might have to ask before students to step off. No, I'll save those for another time. But this is actually something that I was talking the other day to a couple of the seniors about. They were talking about trying to bring the first years into the fold, and I mentioned when I was a first year, and you come in and you're naive, you're scared, you're nervous. And I remember the first time that Matt Zemansky and Pete Chandra, they had a suite out in Faze. And when they invited us out to that suite, to their suite, a couple of the first years, I mean, we felt like kings. We thought we were the cool kids who got invited to the senior suite. And I think those moments, I don't know, on the other side of that, they probably had no idea what it meant to us. But to us, it meant everything. And that's something I was trying to explain to our current juniors and seniors, how important they are in the lives of these first years. They can't even imagine. So yeah, that was one of many, many special moments for me.
Thank you, Coach Apple. I want to invite Terry back on to wrap us up.
Coach, nobody asked me about my favorite memory of you, but I'll hold off on that. But thank you so very much for your presentation today. There's no doubt as to why you guys are successful. So well done. We really appreciate it. And all the coaches and the fellows from the team, you guys did a great job. Thank you to everyone, all the alumni, family, and friends that joined us today. We hope you enjoyed it too. A special thanks to our moderator, Ashley Steve Stockerty. You did a great job as always. So we thank you all for your continued support of Rochester Soccer, and I invite you now to contact Coach directly if you have any further questions. Have a great day, happy holiday, and go Jackets.
Thanks, everyone. It's great to
Thank
see
you.
all your faces.